Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
Sure.
What's your favorite social network outside of Facebook? Like, do you spend any time on any other social network? My guess is I think you're pretty heavy into TikTok from knowing you. I think that's, you've got the pop and lock, going on, but where else are you investing time in?
I have avoided TikTok like the plague, simply because of the ads that I've seen on Audience Network for TikTok annoying me, interrupting my online gameplay. No, I love LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn so much. It is, obviously this is going to be more for business owners that are on social media rather than just, personal users, but it's so underused. It's not saturated yet. There's so many possibilities to build communities. I love writing LinkedIn articles that people will read about in-depth analysis of the market, of trends coming up for anything, and being able to interact with people that are pretty famous sometimes, big time level, on a one-on-one basis on LinkedIn. Wow. Being able to see firsthand different stuff of how business works from LinkedIn, and just the fact that it's focused on that. I don't have to see a Trump meme. I don't have to hide posts on LinkedIn and feel bad about stuff when I'm scrolling the feed. And you just see all kinds of rando people on there that are real experts at what they've been doing. And you get to peek, behind the screens. Neil Patel, for instance, who I got to see live at the MiniChat Conversations Conference, which I was invited to by Mikhail Yang, who created MiniChat when I met him at Internet Marketing Party in Austin. I got to see Neil perform live, and it was great. But Neil Patel's LinkedIn, my God, there's so much free content he provides on there that people are paying for elsewhere on different channels. It's crazy what kind of free resources, I guess. Another reason, long story short, why I love LinkedIn is of all the learning opportunities that you have of learning stuff that you would normally have to pay for in other verticals and other channels.
I couldn't agree more. So yeah, a lot of the connections, and like you said, you hit the nail on the head there. Is I've interacted with some pretty big players like Barbara Corcoran, people who you'd never think would talk to you or interact with you. Neil, through his podcast, I was able to see him live in LA, actually sit and have a conversation with him one-on-one, invite him to our podcast, which he's been on, which is pretty cool. So you're in good company there, Trevor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's the thing with LinkedIn is every day I'm getting, people reaching out to me who, I would never, ever connect with on Facebook, because it's just a different audience. Not to say that the audience I have on Facebook is not valuable. All of them are also valuable as well, but I'm just saying the types of connections, if you're a business owner, exactly what you said, and your end goal of the day is to better your business, better yourself, LinkedIn is absolutely untouchable. I've actually been, because of my technical background with building apps, building websites, all those kinds of things for so many years, I've actually been looking into decentralized social networks, especially since my last interaction with Facebook. So there's some pretty interesting technology going on now that I'm, possibly in the future going to get involved with, either investment wise or, building a product. But there's some pretty interesting stuff going on. And, I keep saying that, Amazon is the MySpace of social networks. But I honestly think that if Facebook, this is my own personal opinion now, okay. I'm not speaking for Trevor or Amy, but in my opinion, Facebook is going to have a hard time keeping an audience on the platform if more and more people are getting banned for no reason. Because once people realize that, their time and effort could possibly be wasted, people are going to lose confidence in that platform and decide to not spend more time there, which is exactly what happened with me. Right. But it's still early on. I got banned, and I've heard of other people getting banned, but that could just end up getting worse and worse and worse, and then at some point people are just going to get fed up with it. So I absolutely love LinkedIn. I've been putting a lot more time into LinkedIn, but like I said, really my end goal moving forward is just really building my own channels where I own the audience and I own the platform. And, because to me, it's just, I've been burned I've got stories, Amy's heard the story. The audience has heard the story about Google. I got banned. I had a seven-figure app business. I built Android apps super early on for Google when nobody even knew what Android was. And it was the same kind of thing where one day I just logged into my account. They said, "Hey, you've been banned." And come to find out, at least they had the common courtesy to give me the reason why, which they said I violated one of their trademarks. But back then it wasn't like now, if you get in trouble, they say, "Hey, there's an issue here. Take this." We took this one app down. They took my entire account down. So that was huge. But that was kind of the beginning for me to start realizing. And then with this Facebook thing, to me, it's actually, I'm looking at it as a blessing in terms of, this is a wake up call for me to know that, I'll definitely use all these platforms, but I am not going to rely on them. And moving forward, I'm going to build my own audience. I'm going to build my own platforms, and I'm going to own them, because I just don't trust, that moving forward. It's even with like Shopify, right? Like everybody's using Shopify. I love Shopify. If you research about the CEO and the team there, they're, I just love Shopify in general, but I'm still a little weary to use them because you don't own that platform. Now it's a little different setup because they're kind of a SaaS model, and they don't really, doesn't really behoove them to ban you or things like that. But if you look at, in terms of Shopify one day, which they started with a marketplace, they could easily spin a marketplace back up again. And now all of a sudden you've built, this thing on Shopify, and then you somehow get booted from it. So, that's why I love WooCommerce, right? Everybody, when people ask me what shops you like to build e-commerce websites on, I say WooCommerce, because I own the domain, I own the server, I own the audience, I own the code. It's an open source thing. So it's not like they can take it away from me. They could say, "Hey, we're not making WordPress anymore," but then I can, either myself work on the code or hire somebody to continue that platform. So to me, that's why I love those kinds of solutions.
I'm the same way. I'm definitely more of a build your own kind of person. And this recent scare with Facebook has gotten me even more in that direction. And I would love to encourage people to not have fear in building up a Facebook audience, because I think that there's a lot of power in building up on a Facebook or a LinkedIn audience, Instagram audience, all those things. There's a lot of power in that. Just think of creative ways where you can get that audience to subscribe to you off of that platform. So whether or not you do like a live webinar and you have them register for it and you get their email or whatever it is, but make sure that you have a way to follow up with those users and with those followers that you're building. I can't even imagine being like an influencer on Instagram or Facebook or something like that, and having tens of thousands of followers and suddenly being cut off, especially for brands. If you build your brand way up, and you've got 20,000 followers and everybody's crazy about your brand, and suddenly you get just cut off for no reason, and you don't get an email from Facebook or Instagram, you have no idea what's going on, and you're just down. If you have spent the time to get that audience over to your website, to get their email on occasion, at least you can send an email out and say, "Hey guys, I missed you. I'm off of the platform right now. I don't know what's going on with my account, but over here, we're still continuing the fun, right? We're still doing this, we're still doing that. Check out our website for this." But if you haven't built out any of that, you could definitely put yourself in a position where you lose everything and you have no way to follow up and contact your audience or do anything from that side. And what happened when Andy got blocked is people just thought Andy blocked them. They thought that Andy was purposefully ignoring him or ignoring them or something, so when that couldn't be farther from the truth, people kind of got this idea of, oh, well, he blocked me, so I guess whatever, but we spread the word and said, hey, his account got deleted out of nowhere. And so anyway, it was really important to be able to know how to contact Andy outside of Facebook. And so it's really great, those people that know the platforms that he owns, and they could definitely go to those platforms and chat with him, or he's got separate chats set up on all of his websites and stuff. So anyway, we all need to follow in those footsteps and make sure that we have a presence on social media and we grow that presence and we connect with the audience, but we also get that audience to come and connect with us in other ways. Trevor, do you have any suggestions for some best practices that you've seen people utilizing social media platforms to grow their email addresses as businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. That was definitely on point with what I was mentioning before about omnipresence and just making sure that you have multiple channels to interact with people on. Because yeah, that would be a nightmare to be one of those influencers and suddenly have everything taken down. I have a friend of mine who built several meetup groups to 100,000, and Meetup just one day shut him down, no reason. And this is different, right? He's not posting videos from copyrighted material where it's a feature block and they're, oh, you're trademarking, infringement, blocking you. They just didn't like the fact that he was so popular. So I think, this lesson definitely continues to be learned across multiple platforms, whether that's Facebook or Amazon or Meetup. The lesson is get your people off platform, get their email addresses. Heck, do a promo to send them snail mail something, whatever. Get their information so that you're not at the mercy of these giants that can shut down your business with a flick of a switch. As far as like email capture from social media, I think the idea is to get them off of social media first by, I know messenger bots, they have little opt-ins. They can say, hey, enter your email address if you want to receive information about this upcoming event or contest or, something related to what they expressed interest in. And so then they'll get a link in their email, but then you have their email that you can, then repurpose for other retargeting campaigns later on. When I was studying under Amy Porterfield, who I love, she's wonderful. She taught doing Facebook Live videos for a Facebook Live show on a weekly basis with a whole name and cover and everything like a podcast would have to do a content upgrade and kind of advertise that at the beginning and say, hey, I got something special for you coming up, mid-show, and then kind of build the anticipation. And then you lead up to that. And then in that point, like halfway through or whatnot, say, hey, if you really found value in this content, you'll really love this other, ebook, video, guide, whatnot, just enter your email in the comments below or in a message or, whatnot. And then you can do a lead capture that way. That can be done through podcasts as well as Facebook Lives. Things like that also work. Video is king right now. So anything that incorporates video is definitely going to help. And lead capture is really nice if you have them engaged. If they're super engaged and you want to have it like a Netflix series where, okay, you're so excited, but wait, there's more. Enter your email address to get early invites to this super secret special party coming up where, the first select entries will win at a Bernie 2020 hat. Whatever the case may be, it's all about engagement. And I think being able to use social media as a way to build like your new BFFs on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever and however, because of that community, to reinforce that through follow-ups, through kind of email series where you're telling a story broken up into segments and then leading them wanting more. I think that is a good way to lead to email capture from social media.
Awesome. Lots of great tips. Yeah. So, Trevor, any favorite podcasts, motivational books, things that you're into right now in terms of, learning?
In terms of learning stuff that's motivational for me, wow. I have really just been motivated by the strength of other people helping each other through this crisis. And, the stuff that we're going through right now, I'm motivated by the strength of, the human spirit not to break. It's so hard right now. I've recently been in the hospital, something not related to this COVID stuff. And I've had to overcome some health challenges myself, and it's hard, right? Your mindset goes crazy when the panic is wide right now, and it's hard. If it bleeds, it reads. The news doesn't really focus on calming you down. I think it's really good to do research and inform yourself. Facts, not fear, right? But as far as like motivation, I think just personally looking back to see the obstacles that I've overcome so far and what I've faced, and I think everyone has obstacles they've overcome, and reminding ourselves that, even if it looks bleak right now in parts, that we've got this far. We've overcome stuff before. We'll overcome this too.
Yeah, I saw a post, and it was comparing, what's happening now to, some of the stuff that's happened in the past. And, one of the points I made on one of my LinkedIn posts is like, the people who are like complaining about having to sit in their house. I was like, think about during World War II, being one of the guys who's, dropped on a beach in front of mortars, machine gun nests, all these, and charging out onto that beach. I mean, the level of sacrifice and things that we're doing now is minuscule compared to, not only people who came before us in our own country, but just in general in the history of the world. I mean, we're still in our warm houses. We got food. We got TP. We got an overabundance of TP, which
We got
people
Netflix.
I'm going to keep giving you this pro tip. Time your business right before you're going to take a shower. 0 TP needed. You're welcome.
God.
I just saved you having to go to Costco to buy more TP. You're welcome.
Oh my
folks.
God. Banana trees have large leaves as well. But,
There you go. I mean, come on, people. The cavemen didn't have TP. We can live without some of these things. If you can get a hold of them, great. But don't panic if you can't. Well, Trevor, let people know where they can get a hold of you, where they can reach out if they want to work with you, or if they want to pick your brain. I know that you're usually pretty available and just answering quick questions and having people reach out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I do my paid services for Facebook consulting and then business consulting. I can definitely, talk to people about what they have needs for and see if, we're a good fit. My email is trevor@trevorwgoodchild.com. My credit card number is no, I'm just kidding. But email's good. I mean, you can try to find me on Facebook. I personally don't like discussing business on Facebook. Again, the same kind of thing, where you got all your stuff in one place. Here's also a pro tip. Facebook does read your messages. Not all of them, but a large percentage. And it is for the protection of minors and things like that. There's good reasons behind it, but it's not really that private. So I would also caution on what we discuss on Facebook, just for your own protection. But yeah, you can reach out to me on Facebook if you want, just to start a conversation that we can move offline on the phone or email or whatnot. And I believe, I don't know my vanity URL, do I? I think it's just facebook.com/Trevor W. Goodchild. I think that's it. But let me give you some last tips for Facebook. So right now, as you know, video is king. Meaningful interactions are what Facebook loves. They love meaningful interactions. While a like is great, as far as the algorithm and the points they give you for increased engagement, those engagement responses of the faces, obviously the mad face, not so good. Those are really ranking high. You don't ever want to do engagement bait. Never say comment below to. Facebook doesn't like that. Instead, ask for someone's feedback about how would you do this. You don't want to post external links, like YouTube, for instance. Facebook hates you posting YouTube links. Upload the video natively instead. Create ads that start conversations. They show up higher in the news feed. And you always want to seek feedback from the users. And Facebook doesn't like you posting links from other websites on Facebook, but they love traffic from other websites to Facebook. So you can post blogs asking for follows on Facebook. Facebook groups also are really good, specific to your audience interests. And as I talked before, that's what's popping algorithm-wise. But it's been a real pleasure talking with you, Andy. I think you're a great guy, and it's great to meet you, I guess, one-on-one in the face-to-face through video chat, as for our own safety, Amy. So thanks again.
Thanks so much, Trevor. Really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for joining us. As usual, please rate, review, subscribe on the podcast. We'd really, really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for all of you guys joining us live. If you guys don't join us live, you're not going to be able to answer the questions live and interact with these great guests like we have, Trevor. And we also do the extra innings where we stop recording and you get to, ask our guests one-on-one questions and things like that. So make sure that you guys join us live, 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. And we always post the link on our social media if we're still on that specific platform. If not, go look for us elsewhere. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And Amy, any last words?
Nope, I think you said it all. Thanks, Trevor. We really enjoyed. This was like such a relevant conversation this time. So I think we all learned a lot, and it was a good conversation to have.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.